Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Sunday and welcome back to part 3 of our epic weekend of Easter lives. Yesterday we made from start to finish decadent dark chocolate brownies with chocolate ganache and decorated with mini eggs. So part 1 we made them, part 2 we finished them and sampled them. We also, in part 2, started our cheesecake stuffed Easter eggs, which we are going to finish together in this part 3. So part 3 is starting our brioche hot cross buns, which we are going to make gluten-free, of course, and finishing and decorating and sampling our cheesecake stuffed Easter eggs. So I'll just give you guys a second, let a few people jump on and join us, and then we're going to get started making our hot cross buns. So good afternoon, Julie and Jeanette. Lovely to have you both here. Did you enjoy yesterday? Did you learn something new? Did you have any fun? I mean, Jeanette, I know you were definitely there yesterday, so I figure it can't have been too bad if you came back again. I guess we'll see if we have a lot less people on today that maybe they're just a bit sick of hearing me talk, which I can understand. But we'll give people a little minute to jump in and then we'll get started. Numbers are steadily climbing, so people are coming on board, which is fantastic. Keep the comment section active, guys. It's really difficult without interaction to keep the pep up. I mean, I can do it. I could talk till the cows come home, but it's so much more fun if I'm talking to you guys directly. Hi, Lou. Thank you for joining us. Very wet and windy Jarvis Bay. It's absolutely ridiculous here in Melbourne. It's not raining currently, but it's dark and dingy and a bit sad looking. Jody she learnt a lot yesterday. That's so good. Thank you for letting me know, Jody. I'm really pleased to hear that. Hopefully I can think of some different tips to share with you today. Certainly we're going to be looking at, breads and doughs, and that's a little bit different, and shaping and rolling and all of that. We do have a bit of a rise time, of course, so don't worry. Between the 2 sessions today, we will get it all done. I reckon we should get started. What do you think, guys? You ready to go? Yeah? So, proper welcome. Good afternoon. I'm Lisa from Gluten Free and Celiac Mixing. Just wait a second, make sure I'm back on. My internet just had a little moment. Can you guys still hear me? I'm getting thumbs up. I'm assuming I'm back. So try that again. I am Lisa from Gluten Free and Celiac Mixing, and I'm very excited today to be joining you live from my kitchen. We are going to make some hot cross buns, and we're going to finish our cheesecake stuffed Easter egg. All right. Internet went funny again. It must be the weather. So hopefully that doesn't keep happening. Let's get started while the internet's strong. Hi, Kylie. Lovely to have you here. So you can hopefully see the recipe here. I know it's backwards, but it says brioche hot cross buns. The picture is 5 hot cross buns in a little box with a happy Easter label and some cute little chickies around. This recipe is not naturally gluten-free, but we are going to convert it together today. So let's jump straight in and get started. So first thing we're going to do is grease a large bowl and a baking tray and set aside. So we're going to, I've got my tray ready, but I didn't get the bowl ready. I'll just grab the bowl quickly. Right, I've got my bowl, and because I haven't already greased it, but I don't want to get my hands covered in olive oil, I'm just going to put the oil in the bowl so we don't forget, okay? So I've got my favorite Cobram olive oil. It's now in the bowl. We will not forget to grease that later and get going. So let's see. Place the bowl onto the mixing bowl lid. So I know now we're actually weighing out the butter. So the butter, which we're going to add slowly into our brioche hot cross buns. I've got my butter already measured out. Hi, Louise. Hi, Diane. Kylie's coming in from New Zealand. Fantastic. What time is it in New Zealand? You guys are ahead of us. Right, because you get Christmas before everybody. So I'm guessing it's the afternoon, if I've done that right. Okay, so butter is done, set that aside. So I know we're going to be adding that slowly in later as we're kneading to get that beautiful brioche buttery finish. So we're ready to get started. I think the first thing we're going to do is put together our liquid. Potentially we're going to be warming that up to activate our yeast. Susan's here. Hi, Susan. Diane's here from New Zealand too. Fantastic. And Nicole's here. Hi, Nicole. All right, 200 grams of milk going in. Okay, 200 grams of milk is in, 2:05 p.m. Yeah, you're 2 hours ahead of us. I thought that would be the case. Milk is in. Oh, double tap. 50 grams of sugar. I've already weighed that out. So there's our sugar. Throw that in. So we are activating our yeast. I'm giving them some sugar to feed on. And there goes our yeast. So I'm using this Lowen's whole food yeast. I find that most yeast you can buy in the shops is gluten-free, but you do need to check. This one is, so that's the one I'm using, and we're popping in 2.5 teaspoons. If you haven't used your yeast in a while and it might be old, make sure you do a yeast test. Does everybody know how to test their yeast? So we've got 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoons and a half, 2.5 teaspoons. All right, 2.5 teaspoons is in. Do we all know how to test our yeast? Make sure that it's alive and happy. Hi, Amy. I'm so happy you're here. All right, lid goes on, and I'm suspecting strongly that we're about to put in some warmth. Let's have a look. Yep, 37 degrees for 2 minutes. So we're going to wake up those little yeast, which are currently lying dormant. While that's running, I'm going to put my yeast back in the fridge where I store it, and I best put my milk away as well. Anybody else's family like mine, this is the water jug in the fridge. Is that not ridiculous? Let's put some water in there. So, let's see. We've got Natasha here. Hi, Natasha. Julie wants to know how to test her yeast. Fantastic. Hi, Emily. And I think I said hello to Louise, but if I didn't, hi, Louise. To test your yeast, take a teaspoon of yeast, pop that in with some lukewarm water and a little bit of sugar, and set it aside for about 5 minutes. If it starts to foam and bubble, your yeast are alive and happy. If it stays flat and dead and nothing happens, they are dead by new yeast, okay? Especially in a recipe like this, especially when we're putting in expensive gluten-free bread flour, I'm not risking wasting. I didn't test my yeast because I only bought it a few weeks ago after finding out that my old yeast was dead. So yeah, I would recommend you do that, especially before you go and waste a ton of flour. If you're eating gluten flour, it's so much cheaper and probably not that big of a deal, but gluten-free flour is expensive. So yeah, I wouldn't want to waste it. Hi Janine and Kate. So we have got our milk, our yeast and our sugar in the Thermomix, and we're currently warming that up and activating our yeast. The sugar is for them to feed on, and the warmth activates them. So they're lying dormant in the cold fridge, and this wakes them up. Anybody else's family like mine and puts a jug of water back in the fridge empty? Is it just me? Why? Okay, nice and warm, and hopefully our yeast are happy. All right, let's see what's next. So we're going to add in 2 eggs. However, yeah, it did warm up. I was thinking the temperature didn't change. Just so you know, when you're looking at the dials here, I'll just make that one bigger. The temperature, the little numbers above the temperature is what you're currently got, and the temperature in the bold, the bigger numbers, is what you're aiming for. So we set it to 37. It did get to 37. Because it's really cold here in Melbourne, I just thought I better check, but it did. I'm going to grab a spatula because I've got yeast up the side of the bowl and I want them to get into that warm milk. There we go, that's better. All right, so we are putting in 2 eggs. Here are our 2 eggs. We are adding 500 grams of bread flour. Say that 5 times fast. Hi Glenn, hi Jane, hi Louise. Bread flour is going in. Okay, so this is my Caputo flour. I buy it in bulk because it is expensive, and it is definitely, thank you, Jeanette. I'm so glad that I'm the only person who lives with people who don't fill up the water jug. I buy my Caputo flour in bulk because it's expensive and it's cheaper in bulk. I buy it online and I get it shipped out. I buy it from whichever website is cheaper this time. I haven't got a favorite place I buy it from. I don't have a shop I pick it up at, although I have seen it in a lot of like European delis. But this is the Caputo flour. Now, it's really important that you realize that this recipe is not gluten-free. What is it called? I'm not sure, Sharon, if you're asking about the flour or the recipe. The flour is called Caputo. C-A-P-U-T-O. Caputo, gluten-free flour. They do have gluten flour as well. This one is gluten-free. Don't buy the wrong one. We are adding 500 grams of flour. Now, the reason I'm making a big deal about it being Caputo is that it is the closest thing to gluten flour you will find, and it will work in things like breads and pizza doughs. You can't just swap out most bread. Yeah, that's right, Caputo, exactly. Well done, Sharon. You can't swap out most bread recipes, but this recipe has got a lot of other ingredients included. It's not just flour, you know, like bread is like flour and oil and water kind of thing. It won't work. But for this it will. But I do not believe that your everyday gluten-free flour from Coles or Woolies or Aldi is going to do the job in this recipe. If you want to use everyday gluten-free flour, you need to find a gluten-free hot cross bun recipe. But what we're doing is converting a normal, quote normal, recipe to gluten-free. So we're going for 500 grams. See how it says bread flour? That's how you know you need to use the Caputo. If it was just plain flour or self-raising flour, then I would use Well and Good. Numbers are climbing. Hello there, Margaret and Diane. It keeps telling me the same people. I don't think I've said hello to Margaret. I might have said hello to Diane. I don't know why, but it keeps telling me the same person is here over and over. So hi, Jody. Numbers are climbing, which means that you're not all sick of me after yesterday. And hopefully a lot of people are excited to make gluten-free hot cross buns for their gluten-free and celiac people. So we've put in, already we've warmed up our milk, our sugar, and our yeast. We've added some eggs, we've added some flour. Next up is our spices. Of course, you need all your beautiful aromats to make that hot cross bun beautiful flavor. So we are putting in 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon. 1.5. So cinnamon is in. Next up is our nutmeg. How cute are my little jars? They're just Kmart jars. And then I bought little labels. Oh no, it's backwards, sorry. I bought little labels online for my jars, and they all sit in my spice drawer. It's like kitchen porn when I open out that drawer. I love it. All right, our cinnamon is in. Now in goes a teaspoon of nutmeg. And the last spice is some ground cloves. Again, I've done a double click. I only have not ground cloves. I only have like actual cloves, so I'm just skipping it. If you don't like nutmeg, just skip it. Simple, guys. Hi, Beck. Hi, Julie and Sally. So many people joining. It's awesome. All right, teaspoon of salt. I measured that already, so I'll throw that in. And it is time to do our kneading. No, it's a mix first. 20 seconds of mixing. Here we go. Water jug back in the fridge. All right, so I'll show you what that's done. Oh, look at that. So impressed. Look at that. And that's before we've even kneaded it, guys. What do you think? Sally, you're running late. Don't worry. We haven't missed much. We've warmed up our milk, our sugar, our yeast. Then we've added in our eggs and our flour and our spices. And now we're up to this stage. So you haven't missed too much. Do not worry. We've also got Jane and Eileen joining us too. Fantastic. Sharon says you're off the hook for being late because it's normally her. Alrighty, what have we got? Place the simmering basket on top of the mixing bowl lid. So we're going into our 5-minute knead, and we don't want to build up too much heat. So that'll be why we've got a measuring cup out. I'll grab my basket. Let's start our kneading while I get the basket out. There we go. Basket is on. Alrighty. Hit me with your questions, guys. We've got time while the kneading happens. First of all, let me know if you can still hear me okay. And second of all, hit me up with your questions. Maybe I'll post a photo of my spice drawer later. Pretty cool. When we moved to this house and I had this whole drawer that I could do my spices in, and I was able to buy the cute jars and do the cute labels. Honestly, very satisfying. All right, somebody must have a question. Has anyone used Caputo flour? That's what I would like to know. Have you tried it? Hi, Alana. Thanks for joining us. We are currently kneading our hot cross buns. They're looking good, but I can see it needs a stir because a lot of the stuff on top is just moving around. Oh no, there we go. It actually just incorporated just as we speak. It's looking good. But remembering as well, when you're converting a recipe from gluten to gluten-free, there is always a chance that flour will behave differently. A chance, it almost certainly will. You may need a little bit less liquid, a little bit more liquid. So we'll see how we go. But if it's too dry and it's not coming together during the knead, we can always add a little bit more moisture. It's looking pretty good though. Pop the lid back on. Now our door's just slid open, so I'm just going to go and shut that. Hubby just came through, but was trying to be extra quiet and didn't latch it. Let me just fix that. There we go. Normally I'd be quite happy for the fresh air, but it's absolutely freezing in Melbourne today. Jodie's never heard of Caputo. There you go. Julie says it makes the best pizza dough. It does make the best pizza dough. It is exactly what I use for pizza. So I use Caputo for any bread dough kind of stuff. So pizza dough, always Caputo. Any breads or hot cross buns or scrolls, like that kind of stuff, Caputo, Caputo, Caputo. Ooh, Diane has asked, are you looking forward to getting a TM7? Yes, I am. I'm so excited. As a consultant, we are very lucky that our ability to earn a new Thermomix is part of the job description. So the deal is, for all existing consultants, if you sell 4 Thermomixes in a certain time frame, you will get your 7 for free. I've sold 2 since that started a few days ago, so 2 more. So if you know anybody, please send them my way. 2 more sales for me and I get a TM7, which is good for you because it means that I get to demo it and jump on Facebook and do lots of lives showing you guys how it works. Now, I don't know if you just saw that, but there was a bit of movement. Even though I'm on my glider board, this is exactly why you do not leave a Thermomix when it is kneading. Do not walk away because you don't want it to go walking off the bench. Hi, Rachel. Hi, Helen. Hi, Stephanie. Very happy to have people joining us still. We are kneading our hot cross buns. We've got 1:40 left. Let's have a little look ahead. All right, so what we'll be doing next is another knead where we will be slowly, I believe, adding our butter in. So this is where our brioche goes. Diane showed her interest for her TM7. That's exciting. So you're saying you've registered your interest, Diane. I hope you put your consultant's name down as well when you did that. It's really important that you always share your consultant's details when you do inquiries so that they get notified and they can look after you. Anyone doesn't have a consultant, feel free to reach out, but if you've got one you're already supporting, fantastic. Almost there. The TM7 is going to be so exciting. I think anything that's new is pretty exciting. 50 seconds, let's have a look. It's looking good. Now remember before I said, whoop, just knocked my butter over. Remember before I said that if it was a little bit dry, we could add extra liquid? Of course, sorry, I just got butter all over my fingers. The butter's about to go in, so we don't need to worry because the butter's going to add that lovely little bit of moisture and bring it all together. Diane, you have registered with your consultant. Good girl, fantastic. Always want to make sure you have that support in place, and I'm sure they're very grateful for your support too. 15 seconds. I'll show you what we've got and then we'll add our butter in. Margaret is asking, has anyone tried the Simply Wise bread mix? That's an excellent question. I think I have tried it, but not for a long time. Somebody else will have used it recently, I'm sure. Hi, Rebecca. All right. Beautiful. There's our dough so far. So looking pretty good, I think. Now we're going to get to adding in the butter. So remember, we're making brioche buns. Brioche meaning that the buns are buttery. Oh, that dough looks awesome. Really happy with that. All right, let's get some butter in. See the magic happening now. Without measuring cup, 2-minute dough. Meanwhile, follow the next step. Add in your butter 1 piece at a time through the lid. So I chopped my butter up into little pieces earlier. And we're wanting the butter to incorporate into the dough. Can I see what it looks like? I'm assuming, Sharon, that you have seen it. I just showed you, but I'll show you again in a second. Your comment probably came through. It's probably a bit of a delay. So it's definitely coming together, but it will need a bit of a knead at the end, I think, to really finish bringing it together. And don't forget, you can always add more time if you need to. So we're going to need, just jump onto that. Oh, so we've still got a minute left. I don't want to add it too quickly, but if you get to the end and you haven't finished adding all your butter in, just add in a bit more time. Trying to get the butter in down the middle of the blades. It's like a little personal goal, trying to throw it in the right spot. It's definitely coming together now. Before you could see it was a little bit crumbly, and it's definitely coming together, but I can still see quite a lot of loose butter. So I'm just going to add a bit more time because it's not going to be done. Anybody ever had brioche hot cross buns? All right, all the butter is in. It's definitely coming together really nicely now. Very exciting. Hi Pam, hi Shelley. Don't be afraid to override the Thermomix. I think I mentioned that yesterday. You're the boss, not the Thermomix. I did a demo yesterday, a customer demo with one of my new customers. She purchased her Thermomix from me this week and her Thermomix came that quickly. And we did a little demo and the pasta in this recipe, we cooked it and I said, just taste it. You know, it says whatever it was, 10 minutes, but let's taste it. And she agreed that it was a little al dente, which I think is technically how pasta is supposed to be, to the tooth, a bit bitey. But we both agreed that it needed a bit more time, so we just went back a step, and instead of leaving it on the 10 or 12 minutes that it was, we just dropped it down to 3 or 4 minutes, added a few more minutes, and then taste test it again. You can still use your best judgment, just like you would on the stove. You wouldn't pull the pasta out of the pot because the timer went off. You would pull, or I've always done it, pull a bit out and taste it, right? All right, who's ready to see this dough? How good does that look? It looks like actual real normal dough. Brenda, don't worry, you can watch it back later. We have just started making our hot cross buns, so we've gotten up to this stage. So we've added milk, we've added sugar, yeast, then we warmed that up, we added eggs, we added flour, we added spices, we did a kneading cycle, and then we slowly added in the butter through the lid, and that's what we've got, okay? So next step is add the reserved, oh, we did that, sorry, because I went back a step. Place the bowl into the mixing bowl lid and measure out your fruit. So I've already measured out the fruit, so I've got that ready. Set the bowl aside, already done. Place dough onto a lightly floured silicone bread mat or a work surface. So it's time to move the Thermomix out of the way and get this fruit incorporated into our brioche dough. So we're going to put it out onto the mat, press dough out, flatten and sprinkle with the fruit, and then knead the fruit in until it is incorporated. Then we're going to put the bowl into our put the dough into our prepared bowl to rise. So let's move the Thermomix out of the way and get this dough out of the bowl and have a look at it together. So I have got my handy dandy silicone bread mat. It is from the mix shop, of course, my Thermomix mat. It is awesome. If you don't have one, you need one. They're not very expensive and they really are a game changer, especially when you're working with gluten-free dough. Let me just turn the camera a little bit. Is that better? Now you can see the whole thing. Especially when you're working with gluten-free dough, you really want a nice surface to work on. I am going to lightly flour that. So let me just open up my flour here. I've just realised, Sharon, maybe you were asking to look at the flour. Is that what you were asking before? Could you see what it looks like? The flour, maybe. My flour is all decanted into my container right now, but I have got photos of it on my phone because it's a very common question. So if you meant the flour, let me know and I'll post a photo of what the caputo looks like for you. Now, let's get this dough out. So, tipping the bowl over, wiggle the blades from the bottom, and look at that, it just literally just came straight out. Now, let's have a look. We still have some stuff around the blades, so I'll just scoop out with my spatula what I can. Amy said, missed the live due to the groceries. We'll have to watch again later. Yep, it'll still be there for you to catch up on, Amy. Don't worry. You haven't missed the cheesecake stuffed Easter eggs, though. We haven't got them out of the fridge yet. We're going to do that while this is rising. All right, so I've scooped out what I can, but... Oh, no, you did want to see the dough on the bowl. Okay. See how we've still got some stuck on our blades? You probably saw me do this yesterday if you were here, but we're going to put that back into the Thermomix and give it a quick whiz. So, dough stuck on blades and putting it on, dial the speed up. So I just put that back onto the Thermomix. I increase the speed to a higher speed. And now look. You'll be able to pick that up. How good is that? No wastage, especially when you're using such expensive flour. I'm just going to scrape and get the rest of that out too. All right, what do we think? Are we pretty happy with the state of that bowl? I don't think we've wasted anything there. Now, look at this dough. Like seriously, let me just tilt the camera down. Look at this dough. Is this not the most amazing dough you've ever seen? And it's gluten-free. Like you can actually play with it. You can pick it up, you can hold it. Are we impressed looking at that? Like, you can't do that with gluten-free stuff, right? All right, so we're gonna spread it out. It said to spread it out and pour the fruit on. Look at this dough. Look at my hands. Come on, that's impressive. Okay, so fruit is going on to 250 grams of mixed fruit. That was. I used mixed fruit that has some peel, citrus peel, and glacé cherries, because who doesn't love a glacé cherry? I do. All right, so I'm just going to push that in to the dough, and then we're going to knead it and incorporate it. Diane says, amazing, yay! And Debbie is here as well. Hello, Debbie. So we're just going to incorporate this. A bit of butter on the board, so there's obviously a bit of lumpy butter still there. Just going to move that extra flour aside because I don't really think we need it. This dough is already so perfect. So we're just kneading the fruit into the dough. Can I use normal baker's flour? Rebecca, absolutely. If you're not gluten-free, this is not a gluten-free recipe. So the recipe calls for baker's flour. So yes, absolutely. Hi, Michelle. Yeah, you can definitely use normal baker's flour if you're not catering to gluten-free. If you're catering to gluten-free, I recommend strongly the caputo flour. Look at this dough. how good, like, it makes me so happy. The amount of recipes I've tried over the years, the amount of flours I've tried, and I've literally had sloppy liquid. Like, you actually could pour it like water into the tin and bake it, and that's normal-ish. No, my friend, this is normal. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Margaret's happy. Yay! Hi, Andrew. Hi, Shelley. How good is this? Look at this dough. It's gluten-free brioche hot cross bun dough that we've just made. My hands are literally clean. They're not covered in feralness. How good is that? Now, I need to check the recipe because no, I don't. I remember. We're putting it in the bowl to set it aside to rise. It's really cold here in Melbourne. My oven actually has a dough setting which just heats to 40 degrees. So I'm going to put the oven on and then we're going to put it in the bowl. Okay, so it's actually 30 degrees. It's called defrost. Defrost / rise dough is what my oven's saying. So remember, we put the oil in the bowl because I didn't want to forget to oil it and I didn't want to get my hands all oily. So I'm going to do that now. A little bit of oil. We don't want the dough sticking to the bowl. That's what the oil's for. So I'll just rub that around. All right. Actually, I think I need to take a photo of this dough. It is so impressive. I want to take a photo. I'm just going to grab my other phone, take a photo, and then we are going to get onto our cheesecake stuffed Easter eggs. Who is excited? Rebecca asked where she can find the recipe. I'm sorry, Rebecca, I missed that. The recipe is called brioche hot cross buns. It's on Cookie Doo. If you can't find it, just ask me to put the Cookie Doo link below. I read all the comments afterwards, and that'll be my reminder. But it's called brioche hot cross buns. All right, I'm going to get my phone, take a photo of this, and then we're going to set it aside to rise and finish decorating our cheesecake stuffed Easter eggs. All right, let's take a quick photo of this dough because I feel like that needs to be shared on Facebook later. Looks so good. Okay, photo of the dough done. Dough in bowl, and then I believe we're going to cover that with glad wrap. I'll just check the recipe. All right, cover it with glad wrap or a tea towel or a silicone dough mat. So I'll just use my mat. I'll just tip that excess flour off because we didn't even need it. The dough was so amazing. And I'm just going to put that over the top like so. And that's going to go into my oven, which is set on defrost / dough mode, so 30 degrees. If you're in a warmer place in Melbourne today, not Jarvis Bay, not New Zealand, I think they're pretty cold. But if you're in a warm place, just pop it aside somewhere in the sun, near your heater, anywhere really. But I haven't got a lot of warm spots today. It's a bit cold. So I'm going to put this in the oven and then I'm going to pull the cheesecake Easter eggs out of the fridge. Now I'm just going to take a little photo of that in the bowl just from the side so we can see where it's actually at, and hopefully we'll see some evidence that it has risen soon enough. All right, done. Let's change this camera angle back up. Who here is ready to finish our cheesecake stuffed Easter eggs? Let me know in the comments below who's ready. While you're thinking about it, I'm going to grab them out of the fridge and we are going to decorate them together. I'm going to actually, before I get them out of the fridge, we're going to blitz up some mini eggs. We're going to smash them up in a Thermomix so that we can pour them over the top. So I'll bring the Thermomix back over. Let's smash them up together and then we'll get them out of the fridge. But first I want to know who's excited to see the cheesecake stuffed Easter eggs. You're going to have to let me know or they're not coming out. So bring our Thermi back. Jodie's excited, fantastic. At least one person is, that's good. I'm gonna grab a clean bowl, so one of my spare bowls. If you don't have a TM6, do not miss the current special offer. which is $1,000 of extras included with your TM6 purchase. They're on a run out. They're disappearing. TM6s will no longer be sold in Australia from early June or before if they sell out, which I reckon they will. But a spare bowl blade lid set is one of the inclusions. The glider board is another. The cutter, the spiralizer, the blade cover peeler, and an extra 12 months of cookie dough. So don't miss that if you haven't upgraded. Helen is excited and so is Diane. Excellent. So we're just going to hit home and we're going to smash up some mini eggs. I also have some of the broken chocolate. Remember yesterday I broke one of the eggs. So broken chocolate and some melts. I'm going to throw that in the microwave so that we can melt that to drizzle over our Easter eggs. So I'll put that in the microwave and then we'll smash up some eggs. Now my apologies for walking off camera for at least 2 or 3 goes in the next minute or so. I was going to melt the chocolate in advance, ready to go, but I knew 100% it would just settle, it would solidify again because it's so cold. Margaret's excited, good. All right, so here are our mini eggs. So we looked at them together, but just in case you didn't see that yesterday. So they're little eggs with a little crispy shell, lots of little pastel colors, and there's chocolate inside. So let's smash a few up. That many. All right, this is going to get loud. Remembering people that hard things against metal blades is loud. So block your ears. Right, I've given it 1 second. I don't want to obliterate them. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's exactly what we needed. 1 second, I think that was speed 7 maybe. There we go. Smashed mini eggs. Let's put them in the bowl. We'll use the bowl the fruit was in. Probably could have been slower speed, but anyway, there's our mini eggs, and we'll have some whole ones on top as well. All right, so we'll set aside our bowl. And now that I know that you're all excited, it is time to get our cheesecake eggs out of the fridge. I'll just check that chocolate in the microwave that we're melting to drizzle over. I'll just grab a fork for stirring and I'll check that chocolate. All right, chocolate is almost ready. I'm just gonna go and see if Maddie wants to come and do a live tasting with us. So let me know in the comments if you'd like to see Maddie join us for this tasting. I'll see if I can get her up here. There's our melted chocolate. Maddie says if people are interested, she will come. Jeanette says yes, excellent. So I've just melted the chocolate. Now you can melt chocolate in your Thermomix, of course, but I wouldn't dirty your bowl just for this small amount of chocolate. And remember, if there's even one tiny little drop of water in there, you'll probably seize your chocolate. So just make your life easier, throw it in the microwave. I did it in 30-second batches and stirred in between. You don't want to burn it. Jody says having Maddie try would be great. I agree. So let's see. We've got some whole, fresh mini eggs ready to go. We've got our smashed mini eggs. Helen says, yes, Maddie. And we've got our chocolate ready. I think it's time. Diane says yes. Come on, Maddie. Everyone's excited. Here she comes. I can hear footsteps. It's been a while since Maddie's been on with me. Come on in, my beautiful. Ta-da! Maddie's here. Say hi, everybody.
Hi.
All right, let's get these. Sally is excited that you're here too. Let's get these eggs out of the fridge and decorate and enjoy them. So I'm going to grab them. Woohoo! Okay, Michelle says hi, Maddie.
Hi.
Our cheesecake stuffed Easter eggs. So this is what we've got. The bottom, so we've got an Easter egg that I cut in half using a hot knife. We laid them on the side yesterday. We made a cheesecake base. Jodie says hi. We made our cheesecake base. We made our cheesecake filling. Now it is time to decorate and sample these eggs. So I think we need another plate because it's a bit crowded there. All right, we can have our feature egg. Which one's the best, do you think? That one or that one? That one?
Yeah.
Okay. There's our best. We also, I forgot to say, we've also got sprinkles. Hundreds and thousands. I'm not allowed to call them sprinkles. Why not?
Because we're Australian.
Oh, do they call them sprinkles in America?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, hundreds and thousands, guys. So I'm getting it wrong. Check your sprinkles as well. Sometimes they do have gluten in them. So that's good to know. All right. Ready? Are we ready? Which one are we going to do first? Do this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you doing to it?
Oh, we're decorating it.
Oh.
So we're gonna go nuts. Frankly, we're gonna go nuts. I reckon we do some smashed Easter eggs first. Get a spoon. All right, I'll do the first one, and you can keep going. Some smashed Easter eggs. That looks good. All right, you keep going.
To all of them?
Yep. We might need to smash some more. I only did a few. Okay, I'm going to tilt the camera down. All right, so we've got our smashed Easter eggs. We're going to drizzle some chocolate. Sorry, I can see that the camera's bouncing now. There we go. Chocolate drizzle. Okay. We need some hundreds and thousands. Is that what I'm supposed to say?
Yeah.
Okay, hundreds and thousands. And we need some mini eggs. Purple, pink, yellow. Okay, here we go. What do we think about that? Our cheesecake. Oh, marshmallows. Yes, Diane. Why didn't I think of that? Mini marshmallows, mini rainbow marshmallows will be perfect. There is our first cheesecake stuffed Easter egg. That will be our photo one. So let's drizzle some chocolate over these. These are going to be so decadent. If anyone has better drizzling skills than me, you could probably make these look prettier. And then I think we should cut one open with a hot knife. So we can have a look at the layers inside. All right, do you want to go ahead and sprinkle these?
Which? Oh.
With, well,
Yeah.
hundreds and thousands, not sprinkles. Don't say it wrong.
Whoa.
Whoa, sprinkle, dude. Not avalanche.
A lot comes out at once.
Okay. Just wash my hands because of course I just licked chocolate off them.
Just glitter more.
Yeah, looking good. Maybe some extra mini eggs.
These?
Yep. These look so good. All right, I'm going to get a knife and heat it up. I'm going to try cutting it in half.
There's only one pink one left.
Just grab a chopping board for that. Do you need more mini eggs? I've got more. I'll get more. need one of each colour.
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
got
I spread them out. Am I supposed to do a little
Oh,
little
you can spread them out.
collection?
These are just my little nests.
It's a nest. I see.
Yeah.
Need a purple one for this one. And a pink one.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick.
Pink. Yellow. That means this one over here needs a white one. Stick that in. Okay, what do you need? What colour?
Onion.
Yellow. That's right, I can finish the box. Oh, you have to eat that one.
That's a shame.
Alright, here we go. Get that all out of the way. And let's cut one. Alright, pick one of those and put it on the chopping board. I'll just heat up the knife. What are people saying? Are they keen to see them in side shot?
People saying they look good.
They look good? Excellent. Alright, I've heated up the knife and we're going to pray for the best.
Uh-oh.
Ah, it worked! Oh, we lost so many eggs.
Yeah, leaves them.
We did not put enough chocolate on, clearly. That's the moral of the story. Okay, saved it. All right, here we go. Sideways view. You can see our cheesecake base down here, our cheesecake filling, and our topping. What do we think? Maddie's a great assistant. I agree. All right, I think we need to taste test, Mads.
Okay.
Put that one over here. Let's cut this one. Actually, that one looks even better. You can see across the whole of the bottom there. Right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
You ready for a live tasting? There you go. Our cheesecake.
That one's falling off.
Oh, I see. There you go. Saved it. Cheesecake stuffed Easter egg. Oh, yum. Mmm. Yum-o.
Very good.
It is. So imagine if you were hosting Easter and that's what you brought out for your guests for dessert. Sarah says, looks fantastic. And Margaret says, looks like a giant clinker, but gluten-free. And Diane says, I've got to make these. Yum-o. Right, let's put them aside and check on this dough. I have to take photos of those after. Yum! How good's the base?
What's it made of? Oh, it's
Scotch finger biscuits. So that was a good question from Maddie. If you missed us making the cheesecakes yesterday, she asked us what the base was made out of. Scotch finger biscuits. Jodie wants to know if you approve. Come and give your feedback.
Mm-hmm.
No, more than that.
I like the base the best.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the cheesecake was a white chocolate cheesecake. Was that yummy? Nice and
Yeah,
rich?
that was good.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at these hot cross buns. So I'll just get them out of the oven. All right. Here are our hot cross buns. Good feedback, Maddie. The hot cross buns have risen up a little bit. They probably need a bit longer, but I think we'll make an executive decision just to not keep them in the oven too much longer. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to see them rolled out. So, can you jump on the Thermomix and tell me what the next step is, please?
Which one?
The white one.
Why is it this way?
it's being punished in the corner.
Set aside.
Oh, okay. It actually says to set aside until it's doubled, and it hasn't doubled, so we'll leave it there, and I will continue the proving afterwards. So that means that I'm going to shape them off camera because I want to bake them before this afternoon's session. So they're going to go back into the oven to prove a little bit more, and then we will, I'll video me shaping them and piping the crosses on top. I say piping, but I'm not a very good piper, so we'll see how that goes. I'll do a little video, which I'll post later. When we come back at 3 o'clock, I've got the hiccups, too much chocolate. When we come back at 3 o'clock, we are going to see the finished hot cross buns. We're going to cut them. We're going to have a look at the dough on the inside. We'll probably butter them and have a little taste. And then we're going to make vanilla milkshake bunnies. So that's Maddie's special recipe. Vanilla milkshake bunnies coming up. So thank you for joining us, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed finished cheesecake stuffed Easter eggs and the start of our hot cross buns. We will see you back at 3 p.m, so 2 hours and 9 minutes from now. I'm Lisa from Gluten Free and Celiac Mixing, joined by Maddie from Little Melbourne Celiac. We'll see you in 2 hours and 9 minutes. Bye, everybody.